All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 5. I know it's been a little bit. I really got no excuse for that. I guess I just haven't been playing in a while. The goal for this episode, as stated in the previous episode, is really just to stick around with the Norman village and kind of watch them expand. You know, get the materials, go back and forth from the Byzantine village, and just kind of help them out. At the end of this video, we're going to find a location that's big enough for our Notre Dame Cathedral, and let's start the construction site. We'll plop it down in the video, and then episode 6 is when we will start knocking it out, bringing the materials there, and then we'll get this show on the road. But as of right now, this will be a little bit of a cozier video. Not a whole bunch of stuff going on. We're just going to be going and bringing materials to help them out with construction. So, yeah. As stated in the last video, because this village has a wall, we can upgrade the wall, but that is not the priority of the village. They'll just kind of move toward this goal as time goes on. That's not really my priority either. The walls are really there for looks, and I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be going out of my way to give them 1,900 logs, but I will get you those banners. Just probably for money and reputation, but I will be focusing on these resources right here because this is what they're actually going after, which is currently the hotel, which is, I'm assuming your guys' hotel. But anyway, I'm not going to go out of my way to get you these logs. You guys will likely beat me to it. I think you probably just did. Yeah, so she just brought those logs there. But we're going to kind of bring them resources, help them out, and let's actually check out the hotel being constructed. All right, and that's the construction of the hotel. So basically the hotel and any sort of inn that the village creates, it allows traders from other villages to come and visit. So, for example, if I press V here, if we look in the bottom left, we can see that our Byzantine military village, Arcades, is 205 meters to the northeast, which is that away. So I am actually going to go to the Byzantine village's leader and praise this village, because hopefully if they become friends, they'll trade with each other, they'll be able to send over, people and interact with each other. So let's go and do that. I don't have a high enough reputation with the Normans to be able to talk about the Byzantine village in positive light, but I can go to the Byzantine village and talk to the Normans, or talk about the Normans in a positive light. So let's go do that. All right, so right here you got the gold helmet above the village mayor's head. So if we talk to him, we'll be able to go to the very back and praise the Norman village. As you see, they're chilly because they're close and they're from other cultures. But if I just continuously praise them, that won't matter. So there we go. Now they have fair relations. And it looks like the presbytery is being upgraded as well. It was a really small wooden shack when I saw it being created last episode. Right now, it looks like it's getting a second floor, got a lot more higher quality materials. Pretty cool. Ooh, and check out the tavern, too. It looks like we got some outdoor seating arrangements. I know that initially the bar itself was kind of like an inside-outside hybrid type thing, and I was kind of a little bit sad when they transferred it to an indoor-only thing, but I really like how they got little tables out here. The Byzantine architecture really is super cool. I'll always be a fan of the Norman-style villages in this mod. I feel they're just so iconic, but I've never stuck around to a Byzantine village before. This is actually super cool. Let's actually check out what the Byzantine village is planning to do next. Okay, I don't know what I just did. So inside of this little blacksmith hut in the Byzantine village fort, I just kind of swung by, opened up this chest, thought nothing of it, walked around, pressed E, and I noticed that my armor was replaced with what was in that chest, as well as my crafting menu. Interesting. I can't even... Oh, okay, it's all away. Okay. I was going to be like, I don't want this stuff just yet. I feel it's a little bit cheap, considering I think I was the one who provided Oh, and they just cleared my inventory. All right. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to really quickly save and rejoin the game. I feel like I want to be completely glitching out these villages here and break something permanently, so I'm going to quickly leave and come right back. All right, we're back. Ooh, okay, so it looks like they are upgrading the smeltery, and they need some cauldrons, which that is something I can get you. I don't know if they can produce themselves. They definitely have a ton of iron, but I don't think they'll produce it by themselves. I'm going to head back to the house, see what materials we got on hand. Might be able to produce some of those cauldrons, bring them back. They need 6, so I can easily craft 6. So we got a stack of iron, 6 cauldrons. Okay. Now it's a little bit expensive, but I can definitely get more iron after that, so I'm not too caught up with that. Also, fun fact, I lurk around in the Millénaire Discord, and the mod actually just had a pre-release for the modern version of Minecraft. I think one of the big hiatuses with this mod not being updated for the last couple of years is simply because the new versions of Minecraft don't really work the same way behind the scenes that the old ones do. For example, I'm currently running on 1.12, and I'm sure the newer versions of Minecraft probably do not work the same way. So, looks like now you can play the new version of Minecraft. It's not a final version, because I'm pretty sure it had to be done by scratch, but it now exists. I am going to stick with 1.12 because it's currently the stable version I am using, as well as the fact that I think I'm just going to finish off the season, or the series, on 1.12 since I started on 1.12. I'm not going to be hopping through versions, because I am almost positive that if I swap versions, there will be a ton of things that are just absolutely broken, but in the future, I might come and visit the newer version. Why are all you people near my house? I do need to sell you your guys' cauldrons. Boom. There we go. Let's go actually check out the smeltery being upgraded. Okay. I'm just gonna pretend like whatever that was didn't happen. But anyway, the smelter was upgraded. Small little upgrade. They just added some of the trim on the walls here. They did a little bit of an upgrade up there. And they have a bunch of cauldrons right here. That's cool. It's interesting when you think back to episode 1 when I first discovered this village. You'll remember how small it was compared to how it looks now. Right now, it is such an impressive town. It's bustling wherever you go. There's people walking around. I think when we first got here, there was like only 14 villagers, but now I think we have around, almost 30. We have 27. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. Again, it's my favorite part of the mod is just watching buildings being constructed and upgraded. I'm getting sidetracked here. I'm supposed to be focusing on the Normans, not the Byzantines, but can't help myself. What's going on right here? Who are you? Simon Elios. All right, so we have a merchant here. He's been here for 4 nights, and it looks like he sells basically all the dyes, which is pretty cool. And it looks like an extension is currently being constructed. As much as I'd like to stick around, I need to go check out the Norman village. All right, I don't know what that is. I wonder if that's a villager or if that's a building. All right, I came back. I pasted what this error is. This dynamicosophronia. So it looks like, here's a little bit of snippet here. It looks like one of the villagers' goal is to cook stone, Byzantine. And I am assuming there's just a pathing error, and that's why it's spamming me. I mean, as long as it doesn't crash my game, I don't think I really mind. But if I might turn off the chat if it continues to be an issue that doesn't resolve itself. In fact, I'm actually going to check out the smeltery, because I'm assuming that's where the issue is occurring. Because like, look, if I press F here, like it is just spamming the chat. All right, so here he is, and he's smelting stone. So it looks like he was able to make his way here. I don't know why that was such an issue, and I'm assuming it will come up again. Just to mediate this, for now, I am just going to put some just dirt, just so if his AI can't get himself through the door for whatever reason, he'll be able to just force himself up the wall. I'll do the same thing over here. It's not going to be the prettiest looking thing. Hopefully when the grass grows, it looks a little bit natural, hopefully. Yeah, is this it right here? Usually they just phase through walls if they can't get anywhere, but maybe just the fact that there was a wall around this structure. Yeah, see, now we're getting spammed it again. I'll just do that for now. Like I said, not the prettiest thing in the world, but hopefully resolves his issue of spamming my chat. If I was playing in single player, I wouldn't really mind, but because I'm recording a video here, and that kind of negates the viewing experience. Regardless, I'm just going to let that smelter do his thing. Let's go check out the Norman village before I was interrupted by whatever the heck that was. Nice, it looks like these little market stalls were expanded right here, and it looks like the initial merchant is currently in the floor, so hopefully when he goes to bed tonight, he's actually able to get to his bed. Maybe he'll be able to reset himself. Here we are back to the Norman artisan village. Let's see if they're working on. So it looks like they are working on a farm of something. I don't know what that means. I believe this is a cow farm. All right, it's been a little bit of time. Let's head back to the Norman village. Let's see if they got that cow farm being created. Here is the completed cow farm. Eventually there will be cows in here, but currently there is not a farmer here yet. Nobody lives here. And then here is the house part of the farm. Pretty cool. But essentially my goal is to help them build more buildings, and then at some point I will venture out, find a big old flat area that our Notre Dame can fit, and then we'll plop down that build site. And when that build site is created, it does not end there, because all those materials that I listed out in the very first episode, yes, we got to get all of those. And little by little, the Notre Dame will be constructed. I'm very excited for the end goal of the series, though. All right, so while the Norman village is currently expanding some of its buildings, I believe it's actually currently building a forge, which might be what I'm looking at right now. Let's get to a vantage point here. So just for a quick peek of the surroundings, there's my little hut right there. You got the Byzantine village, you got the fort, presbytery, taverns over here, you got the inn, there's a great vine field over there. If we swing to the right, over here, we have the Norman village. How far is my render distance? Okay, sorry about that. I just had my render distance on 16 this whole time, and while chunks are rendering, there's actually a Japanese village to the northwest that we just found. So let's actually peek over there. I think I actually see the village border right there. Do you see that post with torches on it? And I actually think I see the corner of a building right there. Despite the first video where I had to traverse a very long distance, until I realized that my game was glitched and I had to fix that, I actually have not really traveled at all in this world, and so it's cool that we push a little bit further out and more villages generate. So here's the Japanese village. This village is known as Hakodate. Hakodate. I don't know how to pronounce that, but here we are. They produce rice, they got a shop for cooked food, and I don't know what any of these other stuff is. But they're still in their early stages, so they just need wood for their construction. I'm not really gonna support this village in the same way that I support the Norman and Byzantine village because they're not directly tied to my goal. However, I will absolutely swing by here every now and then, check out its construction, and I'll probably be surprised with the progress it makes because it'll probably be a couple of in-game days between me visiting this place each time. Anyway, let's keep going around. Let's travel a little bit. I'm looking for a flat area, so let's actually head back to the plains biome that the Norman village is in. I'm actually heading east next to the actual vanilla base game village that I found when I was looking for this initial village. And let's go check out the area because we might actually be able to post up the build site there. Alright, so here's the vanilla village. And this land here does seem promising. This might be where I end up building the village. And over here is where that initial sheep farmer was at the very beginning. First episode. This is the first bit of the Millénaire mod that I ended up finding. See the progress he's made. Wow, he's got a whopping 6 wool. It's probably because I've been too far away from him to actually be loaded in the game and be producing anything. This right here might be where I end up building the structure. I am going to head back to my house. I'm going to drop my horse off. I'm going to go to sleep. And in the morning, I'm going to make my way over to where we just kind of found that opening. And I'm going to see if I can get that build site down for the Notre Dame Cathedral. All right, before I head over to the Notre Dame site, I'm just taking a quick peek at the Norman village, and it looks like they've made a little bit of progress. If I open up the village map here, it looks like they're building something next to the cow farm, and they also just produced a fountain over there, which is pretty cool. Other than that, we got the Wand of Summoning and Gold Block, so we are going to make our way back to the vanilla Minecraft village, plop down the gold block, hit it with the wand, and let's produce our village. Notre Dame build site, you knew what I mean. Okay, so here we are. We got our gold block and our wand. When I pop this and the Notre Dame build site spawns, we are not even close to the end of this challenge. We're at the beginning of the process that'll take us to the end because we need to produce so many materials for this to be built. From my understanding, the first stages of the Notre Dame require us to bring wood so they can build the initial scaffolding for the site. Anyway, let's knock this out. There it is. Now we wait. There it is. New village located, Notre Dame. So let's check out what has been produced. So it looks like we got 2 buildings here. This one is the classic, town hall. Got all of our chests. And it looks a lot different than our normal village because this is not a village. They obviously don't sell anything. Resources that are required. We have 389 out of 38,000. Looks like donations can be made by villages. And right now, it looks like they just need logs. Let's check out the village map. So here we got the village center, the depot, and chamber of something. And of course, we got the cathedral itself, which I noticed earlier is just a flat build site. But I'm assuming this right here is essentially just the barracks. Yeah. So many people are living here that their names are just coming off of the side. It looks like they got a decent amount of beds in here. There's actually not enough beds in here for the amount of people that are here, but that's all right. But anyway, I am going to end the video here. We made a little bit of progress. We mainly just walked around and watched buildings getting built, which is my favorite part of the mod. But now that we got the build site created, we can start knocking out, just chopping down trees, donating wood, getting the first stages of the cathedral built. And while that's happening, hopefully the Norman village gets built further and further along to the point they produce their glass blowers, so we can also import stained glass when they start needing that. And then we'll just kind of just sit back and watch all the construction being done. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.